All right, this next blog post is about playing with cardboard boxes as a child, which is something I did a lot. I don't know if everyone did. I feel like it's a common thing, but who knows? Maybe I'm just weird. But it's a story about how I used to play with them as a child and a little bit of relation to Evie. Because we got a cardboard box in our house recently, and I was disappointed initially in her reaction to it. So that's what this is about. Let's go. Boxed House, written by Christina Curtin, September 11th, 2025. I impulsively ordered a 45 can capacity cooler off of Amazon the other day. We don't really need a cooler, but at Scarlett's soccer tournament last week, we could have used one for her knee ice packs and our uneaten leftovers from 3 days in our hotel. Instead, I had to toss a whole box of Buc-ee's chicken fingers and fries because my cooler bag, let's stop this. You stop. Because for her knee ice packs and our uneaten leftovers from spending 3 days in a hotel. Instead, I had to toss a whole box of Buc-ee's chicken fingers and fries because my cooler, my tiny, couldn't hack it. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, la, la, da, da. If you hear noise, my dog laying on the floor, he came back from boot camp a couple days ago. That's when I got his little clicker on me. But he's been kind of close, which is nice. He's actually been really good, besides shitting in my car the first day, but let's not worry about that.
Toss a whole box of Buc-ee's chicken fingers and fries because
I changed that though, didn't I? Spending.
Leftovers from 3 days in our hotel.
Yeah, from. How about?
We could have used one for her.
We could have used one. We could have used one. Yeah. For her knee ice packs and our uneaten leftovers from spending 3 days in a hotel. Instead, I had to toss a whole box of Buc-ee's chicken fingers and fries because my tiny cooler bag couldn't hack it. It was a sad moment as I laid that greasy, beautiful box on top of the soccer field trash can, the beaver staring back at me accusingly. Those fries were really good. This shall not happen again. To prevent future food waste and attend to my daughter's bum-ass knee, of course, I took the plunge and bought a cooler. Side note, holy hell, coolers are expensive. Plastic boxes with wheels should not cost more than a refrigerator, for fuck's sake. Anyway, days later, the cooler arrives on our front porch in a giant cardboard box. Evie's eyes lit up. "What's that?" she asked. "It's not for you," I told her. Every package that lands here, she immediately assumes or hopes it's for her. She promptly lost interest and walked off. I opened the box, admired my expensive-ass cooler, and then put it away until it was needed. Dust will likely have a chance to gather on it, but let's not focus on that. I looked at the box and was immediately taken back to my childhood. That's a good size, I thought to myself. I removed all the packaging and left the box in the middle of the foyer floor. I wanted to see if Evie or even Marina would see the box as I did. I wondered if they would see its potential. If you were like me as a child, you might have seen the potential too. Boxes, well, yeah, I lost my place, so it paused. Stop. Plus in my written one, I have like a little heading, and I'm not going to read that here because it's awkward.
If they would see its potential.
Yeah. Okay. If you were like me as a child, you might have seen the potential too. Boxes weren't just cardboard cubes waiting to be broken down and sent to the recycling pile. Boxes were spaceships, houses, or boats. Potential toys just waiting for a bit of imagination, crayons, and scissors. Side note, yes, I've written all this without making a single sexual pun about boxes. Look at me, I'm mature. But if you want that, here's a link to my made for adults children's story, Me and My Box. I'm actually going to stop because in the blog post, I'm going to have a link to the story. But in this, I should say, but if you want that, check out my Made for Adults. So if you want that, for the written one, I'm going to keep that. But if you want that, the audio should say, check out my Made for Adults children's story. No. I wish I should do like a split screen so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just making edits in my, oh my gosh, why can't I function tonight? There we go. Edit in my blog post, so then the reading version is different than the written version that's going to be online. My Made for Adult Children, Me and My Box, which can be found on my blog. Okay, so we're going to go back to the side note and go here, find it. Yeah, and see, you can see what I'm doing in Audacity too, like I'm editing the audio.
Sexual punt about boxes. Look at me, I'm mature.
Okay, yeah. But if you want that, check out my Made for Adults children's story, Me and My Box, which can be found on my blog. Back to playing with boxes. I would spend what seemed like hours playing with them, my brain loving the fact that I could make them into whatever I wanted. I think a lot of kids did this in the 20th century, not just poor kids like me who fished refrigerator boxes out of the community garbage pile to turn into my own one-bedroom apartment. Richer kids, I think, did it too, just to piss off their parents probably by enjoying the trash brown box more than the present itself. At my house, the cooler box sat there for 2 days, ignored and unused. On the second day of neglect, a little perturbed, I gave up and dragged the box towards the kitchen, ready to slice its bottom and flatten it to the ground. Evie was in the living room on her tablet. She looked over at me, pulled out of her show by the sound of cardboard scraping on the floor. I saw her watching and decided to guide her towards the action I had hoped she would have taken on her own. I used to play with boxes when I was little, I told her. Evie frowned. Why? Well, because my family didn't have as much money as we do now, and I didn't have a lot of toys. Boxes were basically free, and they're fun to play with. As I was speaking to her, she set down her tablet and walked over to me and the box. She was silent for a second and then said, "That's kind of sad." Her empathy hugged the 5-year-old in me. I don't want my kids to ever feel sorry for me, but I do want them to realize that life isn't a smooth ride for a lot of people, including kids. She looked at the box, trying to see what I saw. How do you play with it? It can be anything. And I told her some of the possibilities. "A house!" she shouted, and she immediately asked how we could make this transformation happen. "Well, these little flaps here could be your porch," I said, "and I could cut out openings on the side for the windows, and then you could draw in whatever you want, like table or curtains." The box was no longer on its way to the blue bin in the garage. It had been given a new lease on life. I cut out the windows as she accessorized. Minutes passed. While setting up her kitchen area, she asked out of nowhere, "Did you have food growing up?" I thought back to my childhood of food stamps. We were poor, but I don't recall being hungry. Yes, there was definitely food. My round size, starting at the age of 6 or 7, confirmed this. "Well, yeah, we did," I explained to her, "but not as much food as we have now." "That's sad," she repeated. But then she brightened. "But now you have more food." "Yes, Mommy worked for it," I told her. "Things could have turned out differently, but I didn't let them." No more questions to be had. We finished. Let me stop this. And my delivery of the last section, it wasn't the best, but I don't know how I would change it, so I'm not going to re-record it. Let's see.
Yes, Mommy worked for it, I told her.
Yes, Mommy worked for it. See, that sounds. I'm going to pause this. Hold on. I'm going to go back and change. Okay, I'm just going to go re-record the "well, yeah, we did" part because it just sounded natural and not the way I really said it to her. So we're going to try this again. So I did the 6 or 7. That was a throwback to my kids. It's starting to get overused now. Evie came home this afternoon from school. She's 5. She's like, "Hey, bro, 6, 7." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Now if she's doing it, it's definitely done with. If you don't know about it, just be glad. It's TikTok and some song. It's silly. Anyway, but I did it for the kids just because they think it's funny and kind of cringy that I do it. Okay. So, well, yeah, we did, I explained to her, but not as much food as we have now. That's sad, she repeated. But then she brightened. But now you have more food. Well, yes, Mommy worked for it, I told her. Things could have turned out differently, but I didn't let them. No more questions to be had. We finished the box house together, complete with a blanket, carpet, doorbell, and a "No Boys Allowed" sign on the front, at Evie's request, cackling that now Daddy couldn't come in. My childhood wasn't really filled with great memories. There was trauma, drama, fear, uncertainty, abuse, and neglect. But despite all that, I can still pick out moments. Little glimmers of happiness that I can recycle into new memories with my kids. And maybe teach them along the way that everyone comes from different backgrounds. You don't know everyone's story. The past might shape you, but it doesn't have to define your future unless you let it. I might have ordered the cooler, but like with most kids, the box ended up being the real present. And that's it for today, my friends. Thanks for listening to my blog. Good luck out there and stay sane. Stop. And let's just go back because I think my little finger made a noise. Yeah, see, click. So I might take it off. Yeah, so that's it. The story I did write about me and my box. I don't know. It was a few years ago. I found it funny. It was kind of like Go the Fuck to Sleep. If you've ever heard of Samuel Jackson, read that story. It's well, it's not as in your face as that because I don't actually swear like that book does. But this is to give parents some humor. I never officially published it. I just plopped it on my blog just because I wasn't even gonna try. But it's there if anybody wants to read it or listen to it because there is an audio recording. It's there. All right. Thank you guys for whoever that watches this. I appreciate you guys following me along on this journey.